No, I don't think we've given it a name. I know that they've given it a name over here, but we believe that we've been playing a nice brand of cricket. We've had some tight series where we've come out on top of late, and I think it sort of changes for us. We've got our processes that we will go through in order to try and get the results going our way. I've always said that we like to be nice and smart. We want to play aggressive cricket, but you've got to be smart with regards to that as well. And nothing will change for us. I know this is a England versus South Africa series, and there's always a lot of hype in the media. There's a lot of things that get said. Bottom line is, this game is between bat and ball, and you've got to make smart decisions at certain times of a game. And we are focused on trying to do that from our side. And England will probably do the same. They've got their brand that they want to play, which is perfect. We've got to try and match it on the day and try and find ways to negate that.
Perhaps going back to 2008, I think was the last time there was as an inexperienced an attack, and it was Dale and Mornay, and I think maybe it was Mackay's first time here at Lord's as well, and they all admitted that they had been intimidated by the occasion and the venue, and they bowled poorly. What can you do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, we spoke about it. I think that's the first thing that's moving in the right direction. We've got a nice environment where we're pretty open and honest about certain things, certain emotions, certain feelings that the players might be going through, and that's something that we have addressed. I don't see it as something that's a negative. I think it's a great environment to play cricket. Coming to the home of cricket, Lord's is a special place to play cricket, a great occasion. This is where legends are made. We walk into the change room, you see all the names on the board. There's so many stories around those performances. So it shouldn't be a fear factor. It's just about us as coaches and as a coaching staff trying to give guys certain tools to deal with the pressures and emotions that you're going to feel in the morning. You can't hide from that. They're going to be there. It's a great feeling, especially if you can overcome that and do well. It is something that we've definitely addressed, and hopefully the guys can use the tools that we've provided and come out on top.
I guess you had a bit of a taste last week of the brand that must not be named down in Canterbury. And some of the players spoke about the discussions that you were having about not getting sucked in by that. Can you sort of explain what have you been sort of saying to the players about that kind of thing specifically?
Not much, to be honest with you. I mean, the warm-up game that we played down in Canterbury, it was exactly that. It was a warm-up game for us. So we had certain things we wanted to get out of the game. We believe we got out the game. The result didn't go our way, which is never great losing. But we're not looking too much into the way that they play. It's more about focusing on what we need to do to get ready for a test series. So, we lost the first game against the Lions in the one-day stuff as well, and we came out pretty good after that. So hopefully that's a good omen for us, and we can change things around.
But that not getting sucked in, sorry, just following up, that not getting sucked in, was that just specific then to last week's game, or a more general thing about the way that England were playing?
No, I think it's a more general thing. I mean, I was asked the question right at the beginning of the tour, what do we think about the way that they're playing? And I actually said, I watched it on TV, and it's quite exciting. It's exciting brand of cricket. You need to have a couple of things that are encouraging you to play that way. The conditions, it's been dry here, so the guys have really taken advantage. And you also need to have the players, and they believe that they've got the players to play that way. But yeah, as I said, this is all just talk in the media. Come Wednesday, it's about bat and ball and about playing situations smart. That the game sort of gives to you, and that's exactly what we're looking to do. If we get into a situation where we're on top, we hopefully drive that advantage home, and if they get on top, then hopefully we can try and negate that and find a way to switch a momentum.
Thanks, Calvin.
Lunch, in 2012 you were taken out of the equation in an awful fashion. I understand coaching is a selfless business and that cricketers look ahead, not behind, but do you come in now as a coach with any kind of hopes to rekindle what happened for the team in 2012?
No, not really. I was pretty satisfied with what I got out of that tour. Even though I wasn't on the tour, I was pretty well looked after by teammates and the management at that stage. So, me moving into a coach is a completely different sort of road for me. And and I'm on a journey with these guys that, you know, over the last 2-3 years, it's been challenging, but I've really enjoyed working with the players. And for me, this is just a part of their journey. Coaches come and go, management come and go. These guys will hopefully outlive coaches and probably more coaches to come as well. It's about their journey, and I'm just privileged to be a part of that.
Well, when England say that they can chase down any total, they can take wickets in any conditions, are they right?
If they're saying that, they probably believe that they're right. As I said, it's our job to try and stop them from doing that. And if we can do that with whatever style we want to play, then hopefully we can do that. You know, it's not a conversation about me thinking about England. It's a conversation about me talking about what we can get out of our players and prepare them as best we can to hopefully, you know, be on top of the game rather than behind.
In terms of Euro players, I mean, I think traditionalists in this country would love to feel that a South African Test team would come to Lords and think, this is the pinnacle, this is really what we've set our hearts on. There are so many alternative attractions to young cricketers these days around the world. Do you genuinely believe that is still in the hearts of your players, that it means as much as it would have done 20, 30 years ago?
I think you only had to be around when the guys arrived and walked into the museum. We were very privileged to have a trip through the museum, and all the players just staring in awe of what was around them. So just watching the players' reaction to walking into Lords, there's a lot of passion. The emotions are running high in a good way. So as a coach, you don't really have to try and get the boys all G'd up for a game like this. I think that's already there. And so I think the youngsters around here, they want to be here and they want to perform at this ground. They want to be a part of hopefully creating something special and becoming legends of the game, like a lot of the cricketers in the past have been.
Mark, firstly, from an injury point of view, do you think Kagiso will be ready to go on Wednesday?
Yeah, I hope so. He's come on well. I think the one concern is always maybe his loads. But he seems to have, I mean, he's a great athlete, so his body seems to have recovered nicely. He's not feeling too much pain. He'll have probably his final test today to find out how he's going. But I'm hoping that he pulls through. He's a massive player for us, as we all know. So for him to be a part of the final 11 will be very special for us.
What is the best way to try and counter this new style from England? Because it seemed against New Zealand and against India, when the momentum was with England, they seemed really difficult to stop.
I don't know. I'll tell you on the day. As I said, I mean, we don't know. We've got to be adaptable in Test cricket. So we don't know what conditions are going to be like overhead, underfoot. It's just about finding a way to try and stop the momentum with them, and maybe try to change it. I think our fielding is going to be important, as we've seen in the recent past. When you do get opportunities, you've got to take them. I think that's just in general in Test cricket now, with the introduction of white ball cricket, T20s especially. Batters are scoring all around the ground, and they're brave enough to take a game on when they see a moment, and try to take a game away from the opposition team. So when you do get opportunities, you've got to try and hang on to them. So we'll be putting a lot of emphasis on that as well.
Mark, do you expect England to bowl first if they win the toss, whatever the conditions are?
I don't know. I'm not privy to their conversations. Maybe I'll have a beer with Baz later and ask him what he would like to do.
With them saying they want to chase, does that sort of have an effect on your team selection? For instance, are you more tempted to play?
No, not at all. Not at all. As I said, we play the conditions. If we don't know what it's going to be like, there's a bit of rain around, so we'll have a look at that on the day and make a decision on the morning, as they will probably do as well.
Do you think Palmer comes into the equation with his English experience?
Absolutely. Do you think he comes into the equation? There we go. There's your answer.
Cool. We're going to take one more from the floor, just a couple online, and then we're going to look to wrap up the press conference. And then I do just ask with follow-ups. We'll just make our way through everyone first before we go to the follow-ups. Thanks for that.
Boucher, can I just ask you, you spoke a little bit about the guys walking into the museum and the sense around that. Can you tell us a bit more about, these are such young players, who was particularly affected, or just what have they said, and what's the vibe like around this field?
No, look, I think it's not much is said. I mean, we spoke about coming to Lords and the feeling of walking through the gates, and that emotion of you're playing at the home of cricket, and it is a different feeling when you walk through those gates compared to any other gate in the world. Not to say that any other ground is not as special, but there is extra sense of the specialness when you walk into Lords. So the guys walk through the museum. They're, as you say, a lot of the youngsters, guys have been here before, are probably like still looking around, still looking at WG Grace's gloves and going, don't know if I could wear those, today. But yeah, a lot of the youngsters were walking around having a look at certain things. They put in a nice little South African section for us as well. So we've been successful here as well. So hopefully we can look at that, and their memory is hopefully to be created at this venue. So they would like to be a part of those memories created. So yeah, as I said, it's a nice position for me as coach to be in, because as I said, you don't have to get the boys worked up for this game. I think naturally they're going to be there.
Thanks. We'll go online. Test series.
Learn how to fetch the ball. Yeah, Ken, it was a difficult one because I think the wicket was pretty flat. Yeah, I wouldn't say there was a lot of learning because, we, from a bowling sense, it was quite tough. As I said, we had certain things that we wanted to try get out of the game, and spending time on the feet, having a good ball out in the middle. That was something that we did achieve. The learnings, we've got quite a few guys who have been playing in county cricket that could bring us some good advice on the way that the pitches are playing. So we knew that before the game. I think the best thing for us is that we come out of a off-season at the moment, so the guys are all a bit rusty. So just for them to get out in the middle and have a bit of cricket, I think was good. And that's why we weren't too phased about the result, because the English Lion guys are slap bang in the middle of a season, and it was always going to be tough for our guys to come out of a winter, no game time, and perform straight away. So I think we respect that, and there certainly was no panic from our side.
Thanks, Ken, Johan, Amir, and then we're going to round off with Mark.
Hi, Mark. Was there any talks with the ECB about the quality of the Duke's ball? There was some problems earlier this summer.
I'll let the players do that moaning. I know that there was some sort of talk about the ball that wasn't swinging or something like that. But to be fair, whatever ball we get, England are going to they're going to get the same ball, and we've got to make it talk, and they're probably thinking the same. So we're not reading too much into that.
Thanks, Johan. Amir, then Mark.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Coach, just looking at the bowling attack, we've obviously lost one who comes with a lot of experience, having played county cricket. Kagiso's also a doubt. You said that he's undergoing some final fitness tests. Just talk to us about the current bowlers that you do have. Are you happy with the workloads that they've put in? And do you believe that they, have the fire within them to, put up a fight against this talented English batting?
Yeah, obviously Duan was very unlucky, and it was quite sad to see him leave the tour. But yeah, you know what the squad is. We've got our guys who are pretty much in those positions at the moment, and I don't see that changing too much without giving anything away. But yeah, I think we're in a good space as bowlers, and we do believe that we can pick up 20 wickets in a test match. We've shown in the past against other teams we can, and this should be no different.
Thanks, Amir. And lastly, Mark.
Mark, we've been reading about this heat wave in the UK. They're a little bit sceptical about how a heat wave in the UK really is, but is there any potential impact on the pitches there, or on the pitch this week there, because of this heat wave?
Around the country, I think it certainly has played a role. The wickets that we've been to have turned quite a bit, and they've been quite slow. I've certainly seen on the golf courses as well that they're very hard and there's not much green grass around. But coming to Lords, they've obviously got a lot of water here because it's green, and the wicket looks like it's got a bit of grass on as well. So we are still 2 days out, so we'll have a look at that in the morning of the game and make certain decisions with regards to our lineup.